At first glance, it sounded unbelievable. A lifestyle brand backed by one of the most famous women in the world was reportedly sitting on an ocean of unsold products. Not a modest surplus, not a cautious overestimate, but an amount so large it raised immediate questions about how such a miscalculation could happen in the first place. The figure that caught everyone's attention was staggering. Hundreds of thousands of items allegedly sitting idle in storage. Jars, bottles, candles, and decorative products, manufactured in quantities that would normally suggest strong consumer demand. Yet, instead of moving through retail channels, these items were reportedly occupying valuable warehouse space. What brought this situation into public view wasn't an earnings report or a press release. It was internet users. Online sleuths noticed something odd while interacting with the brand's website. By testing purchasing limits, they claim they were able to infer inventory levels that far exceeded what most people expected for a so-called curated lifestyle launch. If accurate, the numbers painted a troubling picture. Rather than a carefully scaled rollout, the brand appeared to have produced inventory on a mass market level without mass market demand. That kind of mismatch can cripple even established companies. For a new venture, it can be fatal. Reports soon followed suggesting that much of this merchandise was being stored at facilities associated with Netflix's Hollywood operations. According to sources, employees passing through these areas encountered shelves stacked with unsold goods. Some accounts even claimed staff were encouraged to take items simply to reduce the overflow. Whether that detail is literal or exaggerated, the symbolism is powerful. A brand that positioned itself as aspirational, exclusive, and refined was now associated with excess stock and clearance-level urgency. In the consumer world, perception matters as much as reality. What makes this situation particularly striking is the contrast between expectation and outcome. The brand was marketed as an extension of refined taste, personal storytelling, and careful curation. That kind of positioning usually implies limited quantities, high turnover, and controlled growth. Instead, what allegedly emerged was industrial-scale production without the corresponding consumer appetite. Industry professionals are blunt about this kind of error. Retail success depends on testing demand before committing to large production runs. Even well-known brands pilot products, study engagement, and adjust accordingly. Overproducing before validating interest is one of the most expensive mistakes a company can make. Defenders of the brand have suggested that the inventory was intentional, meant for promotions, gifting, or future expansion. But retail analysts note that such strategies are normally announced upfront. Transparency builds confidence. Silence, followed by retroactive explanations, does the opposite. Compounding the issue is the nature of the products themselves. Many items reportedly include food and beverage components. Unlike apparel or home decor, consumables come with expiration timelines. Every month unsold inventory sits in storage, reduces its value, and increases waste. The pricing strategy has also drawn scrutiny. Products were positioned at premium price points, competing with established luxury and artisanal brands, yet consumers comparing quality, brand history, and perceived value reportedly found little justification for the markup. Luxury pricing requires more than a recognizable name. It demands trust, craftsmanship, consistency, and often scarcity. Without those elements, high prices can deter buyers rather than attract them. Social media feedback amplified these concerns. Videos and posts reviewing the products circulated widely with mixed to negative reactions. In the digital age, first impressions scale quickly. A single viral critique can shape public perception long before a brand has time to respond. Quality complaints became part of the narrative. Some customers questioned consistency, packaging, or usability. Whether isolated incidents or systemic issues, such reports undermine confidence, especially for a new brand asking consumers to pay top-tier prices. As these conversations spread, attention turned to Netflix's role. The company had invested significant resources into projects associated with the Sussexes, expecting strong returns fueled by global recognition. The lifestyle brand was widely seen as part of that broader commercial ecosystem. Yet insiders suggest frustration grew behind the scenes. Promotion appeared limited, momentum stalled. Expectations that celebrity visibility alone would drive sales proved overly optimistic. In entertainment-adjacent commerce, partnerships succeed when talent actively participates in promotion. Appearances, interviews, consistent messaging, these are standard. When that effort is inconsistent, even the strongest platform can't compensate. Observers note that Netflix, like any corporation, measures success in results, not potential. Unsold inventory ties up capital, consumes storage space, and signals deeper strategic flaws. The gap between branding language and business reality became increasingly difficult to ignore. Claims of overwhelming demand clashed with reports of surplus. Aspirational messaging conflicted with discount-level outcomes. At this stage, the issue was no longer just about jam or candles. It was about credibility. Investors, partners, and consumers all rely on signals. When those signals contradict each other, trust erodes. And once trust falters, recovery becomes exponentially harder. As scrutiny intensified, industry analysts began examining the broader financial implications. Large inventories don't just represent unsold goods, they represent tied-up money. Manufacturing, packaging, transportation, and storage costs accumulate quickly. Even conservative estimates place potential losses in the millions. For a streaming company like Netflix, product ventures are not core business. They're extensions designed to complement content and leverage star power. When those extensions fail, tolerance is limited. Insiders suggest patience within the company has worn thin. Multiple opportunities were reportedly offered to recalibrate, adjust pricing, refine messaging, or increase promotion. The response, according to sources, failed to address underlying issues. This situation also reignited debate about celebrity-driven brands. While some stars successfully convert fame into sustainable businesses, many underestimate the operational discipline required. Recognition opens doors, it doesn't guarantee repeat customers. Consumer behavior experts emphasize that modern buyers are savvy. They compare products, read reviews, and share experiences instantly. A famous name might generate curiosity, but only value sustains sales. Polling data adds another layer of complexity. Public sentiment toward Meghan Markle has shifted in recent years, particularly in key markets. For consumer brands, likability and trust play a crucial role. When those metrics decline, sales often follow. This isn't the first venture tied to the Sussexes to struggle. Previous media deals underperformed relative to expectations. Projects were delayed, canceled, or quietly shelved. Individually, each setback could be explained. Collectively, they form a pattern that analysts can't ignore. Comparisons to successful lifestyle brands highlight the difference. Established players built credibility over time, shared setbacks openly, and adjusted strategy based on feedback. Transparency fostered loyalty. In contrast, secrecy surrounding sales figures and performance has fueled skepticism. Without data, audiences assume the worst, especially when anecdotal evidence points toward failure. Retail consultants note that a brand facing this level of backlash often has only two options: radical restructuring or complete shutdown. Discounting excess inventory may recover some costs, but it destroys premium positioning. If products appear in off-price retailers, the aspirational image collapses. Consumers rarely pay full price later for something they saw marked down. There's also the question of internal dynamics. Reports suggest Prince Harry may not be deeply involved in day-to-day commercial operations. If true, the full scale of the problem may not yet be fully confronted within the household. What's clear is that the narrative of effortless success no longer holds. The American reinvention story was built on independence, entrepreneurship, and freedom from royal constraints. Yet outcomes suggest the institution they left behind provided more structure than acknowledged. The inventory surplus has become a symbol, not just of misjudged demand, but of overconfidence, of assuming influence could replace execution. Public goodwill, once abundant, has diminished. Each failed project chips away at remaining support. Reinvention becomes harder when audiences remember previous attempts. Brand specialists say recovery would require humility, transparency, and a genuine reset, not another relaunch framed as triumph. Whether that's possible remains uncertain. For now, the unsold products tell a story no marketing campaign can erase. They represent choices made without sufficient market testing, pricing divorced from perception, and a belief that fame alone could sustain commerce. The larger question is, what happens next? Will partners quietly disengage? Will the brand be folded into obscurity? Or will there be another attempt at reinvention? One thing is certain, the era of unquestioned enthusiasm is over. Future ventures will face skepticism from day one. And in a marketplace driven by trust, skepticism is the hardest obstacle to overcome.